How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. After doing the fashion honor stuff, I decided why don't we just make a tier list as to who has some of the better fashion in the game. Um, and for characters I don't have fully leveled up, I went ahead and went through YouTube, Google, stuff like that to see some cool looks for them to get a better idea of what gear they have. There's not a whole lot of characters that I don't at least know what can look like at a high rep, but I also went ahead and organized the tier list. I went ahead and put all the knights together, all the Vikings, Samurai, and Wulin. That way I at least know where everybody is at if I end up looking for anyone. Pretty sure everyone's here. I haven't really looked too into it to make sure. It says it's updated with Griffin, so should be good. So let's see. So this is obviously subjective to my interests in what character looks I'm interested in, but a couple characters I just want to real quick just put in the S for the fact that I literally played them for their looks. Warden, I feel like a lot of people can agree Warden looks really, really good. So I think Warden should go up there for the sole fact that I've played him for a while just for looks. Lawbringer is another one of those. He has a lot of really good armor, looks, and he is an aesthetically appeasing character. Griffin, I feel like, could go up there. I'm not 100% sure. I've seen a lot of what his armor looks like, but there's only a couple things that I think are really, really good, and he doesn't have a ton of stuff yet. So the thing I'm debating right now is where to put shield characters, because the problem I'm having is, do I put a lot of the shield in S? Because the shields and the weapons themselves all look really, really cool. I think Centurion is another S. He's pretty notorious for how awesome his armor looks. But I don't want to just put all the knights up here. Do we have a couple samurai? Kensei. Kensei is definitely one of the ones that you can really... Oh, where's Orochi? Orochi's another character you can get to look super, super cool. The Vikings, a lot of them have some pretty bland stuff. I'd put a lot of them in A. Valkyrie has some really cool stuff. I think we're going to end up putting shield characters in A, even though they have so much really... I don't know where else to put all of them. I mean, we could put all of them in S, but I feel like S would just be too insane at that point. But these characters all have extremely good looks in their arsenal. Blackbriar, actually, I don't even know. Blackbriar, I feel like, has the weakest looks out of a lot of the shield characters. In my opinion, anyway. I feel like War Mommy should definitely at least be, if not in S, in A. I think she needs a couple more pieces of armor. Because she's kind of just bland right now. It's one of the things where if you've seen one good-looking War Mommy, you've seen them all. So the reason all of the shield people are going to go up here is the shield customizations, the weapons, and stuff like that, all are really, really good. Gladiator has a lot of very, very fancy, stylish stuff he can get. Conk is the same way. He's got a smaller Lawbringer style, but his shield and all that looks really, really cool. Blackbriar, he kind of feels like War Mommy to a certain extent, where he only has a few good looks, but he technically does have good looks. So I feel like it's okay for him to be here. Valkyrie, I definitely think, is above him, if we're being honest. As much as I like Knight Heroes, Valkyrie has a lot of really, really cool armor, and she's been here longer, so they've given her a ton of stuff. Her shields are really cool, spears are really cool. Warlord, I feel like, could be under Blackbriar, just for the sole fact that most of his stuff is just relatively... it's I don't know, it just all seems similar, relatively similar. So that's where I would put him, I guess. I feel like we're not going to end up having a D. If we end up having a D, I feel like it's going to be Nobushi, if we're being honest. She just looks the same. Regardless of level, she looks the same. Sometimes they have the wider shoulder pieces, but other than that, she always looks the same. It does not interest me in the slightest. Another character I could say that with, Nusha. She doesn't have a whole lot of looks that have ever really caught on for me. Shaman, same way. Hitokiri, I don't think looks great, but she has some weapons that are really cool. But her armor is just meh. Her armor doesn't look great. Should I just put all of these people in it? I feel like War Mommy can be put up there, you can be put up there, Kant can be put up there, Vault can be put up there. You two, I'm going to keep an A for the sole fact. And no, fuck it. I know people will get all pissy at it. Alright, so that'll just be the S. Those characters just have extremely good looks. They do. They do. Griffon, I feel like does have a lot of extremely good looks, but for the sole fact that he doesn't have a ton of stuff yet, we'll just put him in A for right now. He does have a lot of really, really good stuff, though. Highlander, love the Highlander looks you can get. He looks absolutely awesome. Aramusha also has a lot of really good looks. He's a little more on the edgy side of the samurai, but he has a lot of very good looks. Shinobi, I've seen Ghost Shinobi. Shinobi's got a lot of really cool stuff as well. I want to put Raider here, but Raider looks the same the majority of the time, so I feel like he probably shouldn't go any higher than B. Jormungandr has a couple cool pieces of armor, but I feel like he's, for the most part, B. Shigoki's has, what is it, like 2 sets of armor that I find to be extremely cool. The other ones they're okay. I think he's a B. Shaolin has a lot of really cool stuff. I feel like he probably is deserving of an A. Tiandi's armor looks really cool. Probably gives him an A. Peacekeeper has a couple cool things, and she's got that Assassin's Creed thing going for her. Put her in B. Berserker probably should be ahead of Raider, if we're being honest. He's got a lot of really cool stuff. And he has the ability to have all the gold stuff, all the... I don't know. I really like Raider, and I find Raider to be very interesting to me, but I have to admit that he doesn't have a whole lot of like super cool armor and stuff to wear. He doesn't have a whole lot of really, really cool stuff. Obviously, it's because of the art style they went with for the Vikings. They went with the shirtless barbarian for some reason. Warlord's the only one they didn't do that with. I feel like most characters look good when you unlock all of their armor. So I'm trying to think of characters that were kind of just letdowns when I saw their armor and what they could look like. That's why I just don't think Hitokiri ever ends up looking great. I don't. Nobushi never does. Nusha and Shaman just... I know Shaman just got a new armor piece, but I just... whatever. It doesn't look super interesting to me. Zanhu. I mean, he's got a couple cool things. C or B, maybe. We can be nice and just put him into B, I guess. Although, if we're putting... Does Jormungandr have better armor than Hitokiri? Because I know Raider does. Should Jorm be down here, maybe? I feel like Jorm should be down here. Zanhu's probably okay where he is. He at least has armor and designs and stuff you can go with. He's got the half masks. He's got his hats. He's got his just normal mask. He's got I think the monkey mask. He's got a couple cool things. Yorm has the skull mask he can wear. Hitokiri's got the giant nose or the giant bush on her head. I just don't find either of those interesting. JJ, I was actually really disappointed with. I played him a lot when the Wulin first came out, and he didn't have a whole lot of really cool looks. They've given him some since then, but I still feel like he just doesn't have as many cool looks. I mean, he could make it with the weapon and the armor. He could be in B. I want to put him in C, just because I don't find a lot of his looks interesting. Anytime I come in contact with a high-level JJ, they all look about the same. I mean, they all have the same beard, same chest plate, same arms, and most of his armor looks the same, which is a little disappointing, because when I leveled him up, I thought he was going to have a lot of really, really cool stuff. I feel like, obviously, it's been brought up a few times. The leaning towards knights is kind of ridiculous in this game, especially when you look at all of their armor is actually made out of, metal, and you get a lot of cool designs with that. Your engravings and all that look really, really cool with the knights. I'm not sure why they chose to give samurai wooden armor when it's known that they had metal armor back then. So I don't really know. I don't know the deal with that, but if these were metal, I think they'd still be an S. But I don't know. Nobushi, I feel like she's just down there. PK doesn't have a whole lot of looks. I know she's got the lion mask. She has the no mask, which a lot of people like. But she doesn't have a ton of stuff. Shaolin, it amazes me with how many looks you can go for. You can go with a good look, and a military look, more of a monk look, like a dark monk. You can go with a lot of different looks for him. Aramusha's the same way. You have a lot of really cool designs and weapons and ways to make your hat look that I really like. Highlander, I've always liked his armor when you get some of the later gear, and his sword you can customize beyond belief. It looks super cool. Shinobi can really adapt to the ninja look, which again is really cool for me. Tiandi is similar because he has the metal for like knight heroes, so he at least has the engravings and stuff like that. I think that's the big thing, is the knights with their engravings just look better than a lot of other people. They stand out more, they have more depth. I don't know. I feel like they should change around the way some of the engravings, but they're not going to. The game's too old at this point. Out of the S tier characters I feel like could move are a lot of the shield heroes. I feel like Gladiator has a lot of amazing masks, chest plates, and arms at this point. He has a ton of really good stuff, so I feel like he needs to be an S. Conqueror, he does have a lot of cool helmets and arms, but he also has a lot of just what the fuck ones. I guess Gladiator has a lot of those, but at least you can see that some of those are historical. Conqueror, I don't know what they're doing with some of his helmets, but his shields are really good. Flail, really good. So I feel like he's another deserving of S because his armor is really cool. Valkyrie, I find to be super cool. I think she should be S. Black Prior, I've played him 25 reps on PC and 5 reps on 5 or 6 reps on console, somewhere around there. And on PC, with being rep 25, there's not really a whole lot of looks to go for. It's either edgy or nothing, which is kind of why I was hesitant to put him higher. Warlord, I think, is really cool because he is the closest thing to historically accurate for a Viking. but he also is allowed to have that fantasy look with the golden shield, the gold weapon, gold trim on his helmet, and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, he has historical feelings, and he's the only one that has the big wooden shield. I mean, that's awesome. Blackbriar obviously has another wooden shield. I think his was a kite shield. No, it's not a kite, is it? I don't fucking remember. I'm too tired at this point. But I feel like Warlord I find to be a little bit cooler than Blackbriar. I just think his looks really, like, if you're going with the dark style, yeah, Blackbriar. But if you're going for like a gold or dark or historically accurate, I think Warlord is a little bit better. Griffon, I feel like, needs a couple more things. He obviously has a lot of really good looks. He's got the Centurion look. He's got the wolf mask that I feel like Warlord should have, but whatever. I've already talked about Highlander, Aramusha. Berserker has a lot of really cool stuff. I would put him higher if you put him higher. Yeah, I agree. He should be probably maybe in the A if yeah, maybe. I don't know. He just doesn't match some of these. He matches some of the other ones, though. I mean, I'd say he's pretty similar to Aramusha within some of a regard. Raider, I don't know where to put Raider because he's just such a simplistic character. Really, the only thing you're customizing that most people notice is the weapon. But I still find him to be aesthetically cool. I think he's got a lot of cool armor, and his weapon is fucking awesome. Shigoki, he has the gold-faced demon that I use. I think he's probably above Raider. He looks really cool. PK, yeah, she's an Assassin's Creed style looking character. She has a couple cool face masks, but for the most part, her chest and arms are relatively the same, and her weapons are small and harder to see. Zanhu's got some cool stuff. His weapon's pretty cool as well. Hitokiri, most of the armor just kind of disappoints me. The weapon's pretty cool. Jormungandr is kind of a different side. His helmet is really cool. His chest and arms are kind of just fine. But the hammer is also just like some of them are good, and then some of them are just kind of meh, whereas Hitokiri stands out a lot, and you see it a little bit easier. JJ, I feel like could probably go above both of these because his armor is fine and his weapon is cool. It's just I wish they had some things that looked a little different. Some of his stuff is very similar. I mean, yeah, he's got the no sleeves. Some do have sleeves. Some are a different type of mail. Some are a different type of leather. But I just don't think it's a big change. Like, from a distance, they all look the same, whereas Warden from a distance could look 1,000,001 different ways. Lawbringer could look a ton of different ways. Centurion has a lot of different looks now. Like, these characters, you can see the way they look from a distance, and they will all sometimes look different. Whereas JJ, when I see JJ's, for the most part, they look the same. They either have sleeves on, sleeves off, and there seems to be a style that goes along with both of those. Now for the bottom, I think Nobushi should be bottom. Nusha has some okay armor. The weapons never really captivate me, even when you unlock some of the more difficult ones. Shaman, I just don't like her design. I know a lot of people do and would put her, God knows, up here, but I just don't like her design. I don't think I don't get the purpose of it. She doesn't have any like actual good armor. It's just thin leather, and with her new armor just showing off her stomach, whatever. I don't really care. Her weapons also I don't find those as cool as Berserker's weapons. And Nobushi. I've seen some high rep Nobushis, and I have some high rep Nobushis on my friends list, and none of them can really show me a ton of cool looks. They enjoy playing the character, but they admit that she doesn't have a ton of cool looks for her. She's got some weird ones that you can go with, but for the most part, they all stay relatively the same. The mask is the big thing that changes. So just for that, I think she has some of the weakest, and her spear is, yeah, it's cool. But seeing high rep Nabushi's a lot of the time, and knowing that she kind of looks the same, I just feel like she's bottom. But that's just my idea. It's kind of interesting that we went smaller and smaller almost to each and every one. If we want just for that to be, oh, there we go, perfect. Now they all go down in a perfect manner, right? But that's just my tier list. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you want to make your own tier list and snap a picture and send it in the comments, go for it. I'll take a look at it. Why not? We all have different views as to what we find to be really cool. I think I explained for the most part what, the reason is. I feel like most people can agree on some of these top ones, and maybe people will disagree with me down below and down in the C and D tier. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and let me know what your tier list would be down below, or tell me which ones you think I should have changed. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. I thought this would be a fitting end for the fashion honor because I don't have any other characters that are rep 8, so it's mostly done until I get them higher level. Anyways, guys, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.